Today we're with Myles Yocum. He is in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. That's just west of Lexington, Kentucky. Brandon just recently purchased the CoolVac37. He's got a green one because when he purchased it, we were using this as a demo with Attic Queen down in Florida. So on our way back up from Florida, Andy from Cool Machines dropped this off. Brandon, why did you need a vacuum of this size and this nature in the first place? What was your choice, reasons for that?
Well, it's kind of a go big or go home kind of scenario for me. The first couple of vac jobs I did, I used a rental machine from Sunbelt, and they were 19 horsepower Myers, I believe is what they were. I felt like they just took forever. We spent a whole day vacuuming an attic out. Maybe it was about an 1,800 to 2,000 square foot attic. And I felt like it literally did. It took all day long to vac that attic out. The next time that I had to vac an attic out, I rented a machine from Sunbelt again, and it was actually a brand new one. So I thought, well, it'll work better. It worked a little bit better than the wore out old one that they had. Then I bought a small capital machine. It was like 14 horsepower. It lasted one job for me, unfortunately. But again, it was taking forever to vac out attics. And we didn't really do that many vac outs. So it's kind of hard to justify to my business partner, my wife, for us to spend a lot of money on a vacuum. So, we rented them. It's funny. We may have done maybe 5 attics each year where we would have to do a vac out. Recently, we just started a partnership with a friend of ours that has a spray foam business, and we were sharing a Meyer with an upgraded 21 horsepower engine back and forth. Again, each time I would need to go get it, I'd have to go 30 miles down the road. It would take all day long to vacuum out things that I felt like should have been about a half day at the most. And now, as soon as I was able to talk her into let me purchase another vacuum so that I didn't have to have a partnership with somebody on one or rent one from Sunbelt, I decided if I was going to order one, I was going to order the biggest one that I could afford. So that left me with the 37 horsepower or the 25 horsepower diesel that you all offer. After talking with you, I felt like this was the best route for me to go. The funny thing about that was, like I said, we may have only done 5 vac outs every year that I've been in business, maybe 5 each year. I've already done 6 since I've had this, and I haven't had it, 2 to 3 months, maybe at the most?
Exactly. Yeah. Since November.
It's kind of one of those things like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Now that we have it, it's like the vac outs are just coming to us. We've done, I believe it's 6, if I remember right. We've done a few 1,500 square foot houses with old cellulose that was compacted. And the machine, it just, even with it split off to 2 4-inch hoses, it sucks through that cellulose better than the 21 horsepower machine that I was using with 6-inch hose. I mean, it's just amazing to us how fast we can get an attic backed out. And then we've done some fiberglass ones, and those really fly through. The first attic that we did on this, me and my sales guy actually went and did it ourselves, and it was 1,300 some odd square foot of fiberglass that was probably somewhere around 12 inches deep. I think that we timed it. It was about 2.5 hours for us to vacuum that out. So it's a real time saver. The one thing that was really selling me on getting a bigger vacuum to cut down on the time was some of the last ones that we did last year were doing during July and August during, the heat wave. You get in an attic in Kentucky or anywhere south of here, that attic's going to be 150 degrees ambient temperature. That's hard on a guy, especially if you have to be in there for 6 to 8 hours. If we can cut that down to 2 to 3 hours and get it vacuumed out, that's why I chose the biggest vacuum that I could pick. Another thing that goes along with that is we were having to spend a whole day vacuuming and then come back the next day to actually replace the insulation, whether it be us foaming the roof deck or us doing an air seal job and then blowing back in. It was taking so long to vacuum out. We were having to leave people overnight without insulation in their attic. The summertime, that's probably not as big of a deal, but take today, for instance, and our high was 35, and last night it got down into the teens. You can't leave somebody's house uninsulated. They don't appreciate it when you do that. So, this gets us in and out of an attic in one day.
So you've vacuumed up fiberglass bats lately, right?
The last job the guys went out, I wasn't able to go out to that job site. They had a 2,000 square foot attic that they were vacuuming out for. Another spray foam contractor called us and needed our services. We sent the guys out there, and it was a mixture. They said that there was some cellulose, there was blown fiberglass, and then underneath of the blown fiberglass, they found some R30 faced bats. We didn't have enough 8-inch hose to reach all the way into the attic. Often we're just sticking bats through the 6-inch hose. And with the 6-inch hose, they were able to pull maybe about a third of the bat off, stick it through, and then the other 2/3 would go through the 6-inch fine.
Yeah. And there was enough suction there at least to handle that. Usually 6-inch hose is not big enough for a bat whatsoever. But no, that's good to hear, especially with the facing on it.
Yeah, they'd take about a third of it with the facing, and it would eat that, and then they would stick the other 2/3 that didn't have facing through. It's what they were telling me, and then they sent me some video of it. I was kind of nervous when they told me that they were sticking bats through my 6-inch hose. Just like you said, typically it's not going to do well. I've tried that in the past with the 21 horsepower machine that we were using, not faced. It was an R19 bat. It clogged it up. Or if it did make it all the way through, you had a long, it was a long travel time and a long recovery time before you could stick the next one in. I think once we get a few more sections of 8-inch hose, or even with just the 6-inch hose that we have and the way that they were doing it, they were sending it right in behind each other. Of course, I've seen video of some guys with some 8-inch hose on one of these vacs, and it's just as fast as you can stick it in there. It's eating it up. It
will pull that hose right out of your hands if you're not holding on to it. When Cool Machines came out with the output safety deflector, one of the things they built into it was a gap there at the end where the material that's coming in, any foreign objects would hit material that collected in that. Can you show us an example of your cool deflector and how that actually works?
So here's our cool deflector. If you look, like he said, there is extra space over here where it comes out of the machine off the impeller. The impeller's throwing it this way. It's going to hit over here first. But if you look up into our machine, like I said, the guys were sucking up fiberglass bats. That's compacted in there. That much was compacted up into this deflection device. So it's kind of nice, when you first start vacuuming, if you stuck up nails or something at first, you get some music over here. Once it starts packing some material in there, it's extra safety, really. It's something there to kind of absorb that and slow the metal or the wood pieces down even more.
Brandon, thank you for taking time off today here to talk with us. I appreciate you showing us through the vacuum, how you use it and how well it's worked out for you.
Yeah, no problem.